Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I am back at home. Got home around 2 a.m. After hanging out with Zen Master JP from Sin City Crypto. Had a great time with him. I hope you all are doing well, and I'm back to doing our regular updates here. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin for right now. So taking a look at our weekly, we're having a nice trend down for right now, which is amazing for the beginning of the week. Exactly what we want to see here. So this is definitely getting me excited. I love when Mondays, Sunday nights or Mondays dump. Let's take a real quick look at our daily. So our daily kind of had a couple compression candles over the weekend. Obviously, the one on Sunday closed bearishly, and then now we're getting that expansive move down for Monday. What, as far as what levels I would be expecting, we have a possibility to basically almost bounce right here if it wants to. I have been targeting the 64,000 area, as you guys know. 63,940 would kind of be my, basic starting area, right, to the downside. We could potentially, though, get all the way down into more so this area, right, top of this order block maybe. We just kind of have to see where price wants to go, right? I could definitely see us getting into 63,600, which would be the top of this order block, even potentially getting down into 62,880 if it wanted to. So just kind of keep that in mind for right now. Those are going to be some levels to kind of watch for today. Not just for today, but also for tomorrow, I would say as well. Let's take a look at our 10 hour. So 10 hour, you're holding the 50 MA. That could be a good point of support right there. So I would definitely keep that in mind at 64,180. Again, we have been dumping for the most part for quite a while now. So I would be expecting for us at some point to get some sort of, even if it's a tiny relief rally, right? So that is what I'm seeing as far as the bigger time frames go and the meso time frames go. Your 4 hour is basically getting a bounce off of the 200. So again, that could be a possible good play as well. That's going to be a very strong support point. Now, if you lose that 200, guys, you're going to have to assume that, you could potentially come down all the way into, like I said, 62,880, even the bottom of its order block. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's going to be very important for us to keep that 4 hour 204 right now. Let's say, taking a look at the 1 hour, you are losing the 1 hour 200 MA. Moving averages are a little bit far from it, so that is a potential that we could possibly get a relief right here. Let's pull kind of a local 786 to see where we're at. Let's see here. So, yeah, you're kind of bouncing right off of a 786 level as it is right now. Now, it doesn't look like it's holding too strong, but there is a potential that, maybe we take out these wicks right here and we get that bounce back up, right? So that's kind of what I would be expecting and looking for today. Not looking to, basically get into any shorts as of right now. It's more so I'm looking to get into the relief rally, personally. Taking a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, so if we lose this 786, let's draw the next one down here. So the next one would probably have to be some from right about here. So 63,745, somewhere around there is a possibility. And then obviously if you lose that, then you're be basically pulling it from right here, right around the midway point of your order block that's down here. So around 63,200-ish, I would say. All right. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at liquidity and see how our levels are doing here. So let me refresh this and get into the 4 hour. All right. So when it comes to the 4 hour, you can see that we are starting to, basically get a dump to the downside, getting closer and closer to the 63-ish area. That's going to be your first kind of area of support potentially if we were to drop down into this liquidity pool. So around 63,000, 62,880 if you did take out all of this green area. Now, if you lose 62,880, guys, it looks like you're going to drop down at least about 62,000, 61,8 area. And then, obviously 61 to 60,006 area that we've been talking about. So, it's really going to depend on the bigger time frames whether or not we're going to start diving into this liquidity pool. We could get the bounce at any time. Just kind of keep that in mind. Taking a look at the 1 hour here. All right, so the 1 hour, we are getting a bounce off of this yellow pool of liquidity right here. Not quite tapping into that red pool around 64K even. So again, that's been an area I have been targeting for quite some time, as you guys know, the 64K region. But it's going to be very interesting to see if we close this candle below the 200, because that could potentially mean a little bit more follow through to the downside. But for right now, I would basically be targeting the 64,000 area as a possible bounce point, if we, basically continue that move down. I don't, if again, if we don't keep this area, you got to expect that we at least will come down and take out even more of this liquidity, at least to 63.8, if not all the way through 63,000. Okay. Um, as far as liquidity to the upside, I'm not really seeing too much yet. Again, 63.8, even with just the 100x pull checked off, you can see that, you basically have a potential for a bounce right there. So maybe a little bit further down than 64K. You have this little tiny blip of liquidity around 65,000, so that could definitely be an area of interest for either today or tomorrow. Let's take a look at the 15. So yeah, even for the 15, you can see that you're getting the bounce off of the red liquidity. You even have a spot even closer at 64 500-ish area, so a little bit closer than what we just saw. But I would be expecting, if we were to get a relief rally, at least about 64 5-ish area, to take out this little bit of liquidity, and if you can consolidate here, you can get that continued move up, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys, as far as liquidity goes. Nothing too major to report on. We just are basically waiting for that bounce. And again, it can basically happen at any time. I would more than likely, because we're still, somewhat bearish for the most part, I'd probably be expecting for there to be a potential relief rally later on this afternoon if we don't get it this morning. Now, let's take a look at our order book real quick. Our order book does show that there are more orders to bring us to the downside. You have a potential to get into the 63,700, 63,675 area. So again, kind of targeting that 63,800 red liquidity area if we can drive through this. To the upside, though, you do have quite a few orders. You just need to have the bridge orders to get yourself up here, right, on the order book. So definitely a potential for this week to get back up here, but for right now, I would say focus more on the downside until, like I said, until further notice. More so from a timing perspective, if we can't get it this morning, I would say wait until this afternoon to look for a setup. All right, guys, that being said, let's take a real quick look at our simple map here. So taking a look at the simple map, let me zoom in on our liquidity areas here. So you can see we're kind of right next to support right now onto the downside. We're kind of at this first little bar right here. 64,140. If you lose this, you got to assume you'll come down to about 64,80 to between 64,000 and 64,080. You lose 63,990 up here, you can basically get that follow through all the way probably to about 63,000 even. So it does show that if you lose 64,000 support, you're going to get a pretty nasty drop probably through this area of liquidity. Now, looking to the upside here, you don't have that many people shorting just yet. Kind of a low volume day, right? So, as far as what to expect to the upside, you basically have to, I would say, get above 65,000 if you start getting that move up. And then you kind of have to get that follow through up to about 65, 460, 65, 5-ish area. If you can get above there, you could get that follow through to about 65, 730, I would say. All right, guys, that is what I'm seeing as far as the scalping timeframes go. Usually the swing timeframes lately, because it's been low volume, it has been basically reflecting the scalping timeframes. Getting that move to the downside, you'd be looking at 64,000 even as the next support area if you continue that move down. And then obviously we talked about the 63,000 area, 63 even area as another support point, because this will basically kind of flow through all of this liquidity gap here. And then to the upside, we mentioned that you're going to have to get through that 65,000-ish area. Then you can possibly test 65.5 and then 65.7. So those are some areas that I would say to watch for the time being. Again, guys, because it's a Monday, just be very careful. It's called False Move Monday for a reason, right? So just be mindful of that. But that being said, guys, that is what I have for you this morning. I will be back later on this evening to give you guys the evening update. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.